In tonight's Money Matters, there was a sigh of relief on Wall Street after last Friday's 140-point nosedive. A lot of investors were saying, what's next? Was another Black Monday in the cards? Well, the answer is no. The Dow Jones Industrials today gained nearly 34 points, and the trading was moderate. President Reagan had something to say about the stock market today and what he believes was to blame for last October's nosedive. As our White House correspondent Sam Donaldson reports, the president thinks Wall Street is to blame, not Washington.
President Reagan, in mounting a counterattack against critics of administration economic policy, told his Cleveland audience the October Wall Street crash was Wall Street's own fault, no one else's.
First of all, I don't believe that the dollar or anything outside of Wall Street and the markets had anything to do with the great debacle in October. What took place was a panic induced within the marketplace and not from some factor outside.
The president did say that the big budget deficit is an embarrassment and a shame, but he blamed it on the Congress. As for the huge trade deficit, Mr. Reagan said it is not necessarily a sign of weakness, but perhaps of strength, because it shows foreigners want to invest in the U.S. And if a recession should come, why that, suggested the president, will be the media's fault.
And I don't think the signs of recession are there. I'll tell you what does frighten me. When I see sometimes in the media all this great emphasis in quoting people about pessimism and that, well, this looks like there's a recession coming, that could bring on bad times. So I don't anticipate a recession unless some of those doom criers scare the people into one. Just talk it up.
On Friday, the latest trade deficit figures will be released. And market forces, which unlike the president do not see the trade deficit as an example of strength, are nervously awaiting them. If there is no marked improvement, it adds to the possibility of recession ahead. And talking it up probably won't change that. Sam Donaldson, ABC News, the White House.
There were more questions today for the vice president on the Iran-Contra affair. As ABC's Carol Simpson reports, this time the questions for Mr. Bush came from the special prosecutor's office.
Vice President Bush was in his office in the Executive Office building all day, where he gave sworn testimony to attorneys representing Special Prosecutor Lawrence Walsh. Bush, who has talked to investigators before, talked today under oath, answering all questions posed to him about the sale of arms to Iran and the diversion of funds to the Contras. A Bush spokesman released a statement saying the special prosecutor emphasized that the vice president was merely a witness and is not under investigation. Today in Cleveland, President Reagan repeated his earlier assertions that he doesn't believe there was any wrongdoing.
Everybody knows everything about Iran-Contra.
With the Iowa caucuses only 4 weeks away, Bush has been besieged all along the campaign trail with questions about his role in the Iran-Contra affair, not only from reporters, but from his Republican presidential rivals. Today, Senator Robert Dole had more to say on the issue.
I think the question is credibility. That's one that the vice president can best address, and I assume he will.
Late today, the vice president's office released the tax returns of George and Barbara Bush for the past 14 years. Their 1986 return shows they paid $115,000 in taxes on income totaling $348,000. Vice President Bush has challenged Senator Dole to make full financial disclosure of his and his wife Elizabeth's income. The move is clearly designed to deflect attention from the vice president's Iran-Contra problems, but there are doubts it will. Carol Simpson, ABC News, Washington.
When we come back, our first series of 1988 begins on the presidential election campaign.